Okay, now I'm playing around with the dome command just to see. I mean, you know, you got this dial, so you can dial up a dome. But it's a little allow you to go negative. You know, you can choose a direction, but it's got to be based on something. So I don't know what this is for, and this is, you know, constraint, point, or sketch. So I don't know what that does. So anyway, with just this, you know, this is all you got to work with. But it can produce a dome, but you know, that's. But I assume that they can take geometry like this and put it into like a CNC system and actually have it get, you know, even if you did something based on splines, I mean, in theory, they can put it into a CNC operation and have it, you know, profile the surface. Because I assume this is making a good CNC base for a surface anyway. At any rate, that shows you some of the aspects of that. Okay, I created a sketch. You know, I was going to try to put a profile on that, but it wouldn't allow me to do it because of where I created it. I created it in the plane of his face, and I thought it would probably not work, but I wanted to try it anyway. Now, my next question is it possible to actually move the plane of the sketch or not? Because I did create it arbitrarily on the face. So, that's what I'm going to try next, and I'll let you know what the results are. Okay, I was able to, you know, use a command here somewhere. To actually relocate the sketch. So anyway, it was in here, but it's suppressed because it generated warnings. And I think I know what the warnings are. And you can double click on a sketch, by the way, and generally get into it. But yeah, I mean, I understand what the warning is. It's, you know, put this coincidence like an origin point or something like that on that face. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and undo what I did. So, because, you know, if you go edit the sketch, you know, you can see that I put the, you know, it just happened to be that the origin of this plane was right in the middle, I guess because it's the origin of the middle of the face. That's kind of cool to know. But, you know, I put that arc, you know, coincident with the, you know, corner points, and then, you know, I put a relationship on this to fully define it on this midpoint of the arc. So, anyway, so that didn't work, but it was an interesting experience. But yeah, I mean, I'll show you what I did, though. Well, can't do it because I'm editing the sketch. But yeah, it's right here. It says edit sketch plane, but you know, if you do that, you know, it doesn't give you much option. So yeah. So anyway, yeah, but I don't think, you know, because the sketch plane itself was tied to the face. Again, if the face ever moves, the sketch will probably go along with it. So, you know, that's probably why it wouldn't work. But by the way, before I play around with this any further, I'd like to go to our main extrude and try to edit some of those dimensions. Well, okay. This is the box, if you recall, that I went through a lot of difficulty positioning. But it'll have to be the extrude that I edit. So there's no dimensions per se, so let's make it like 3-inch. Well, I guess that didn't work though. That's interesting. Huh. Definitely generated some errors. Oh, and that feature, okay, but still not on our other one. Well, let me try it the other direction. Or make it longer. Okay, but yeah, no, for some reason, you know, this still didn't edit. It is giving me a warning though. Huh. Yeah, because like I said, we lost our relationship there. You know, it didn't maintain those when the edge changed. Damn, I don't want to change the fucking name of it. Anyway, I mean, seriously, this is such a fucking common operation. Why is this fucking program so ignorant it can't do this? You know, I mean, putting things in a midpoint is just, it's a common operation. You know, I mean, because this is bullshit. Okay, there was a perpendicular relationship was what was apparently causing the problem. So I just deleted that perpendicular, you know, because these two lines had a perpendicular relationship with each other, and they shouldn't have. I mean, I don't even know why that got in there. I was kind of confused about that at the time, but, you know, it's fully defined again. Let's exit the sketch and see what it does. Okay, groovy. It's still frustrating as piss, because that is such a simple operation, but it did basically work. That's the good news. So if I do, you know, like edit this extrusion again. No, not that one. Damn it. If I edit this extrusion again, change it to 4.5, let's say. Okay, that should be adjusted to the midpoint, so it is. Change it back to 4. Now, there we go. Okay, and I did just go, you know, for shits and giggles, you know, edit our main sketch here and change this from 5 inches to 6 inches. You can see how the arc, you know, changed its you know, its size and everything. But I still do not know how to move this plane, but I think you can't do it because there is no real plane associated with it. It's just a, you know, drawing the face, but it is associated with the face. So, you know, the thing about it is that now I don't know, if I'm kind of wondering if I would have drawn it on this face, you know, if that would have achieved the same result, because I have a feeling this is our base plane, so that's probably the top plane. Yeah, it is. So I assume that still would have maintained its connection, because this certainly worked. But you can see our hole's still in the middle, so, and this one's still where I located it, since it's referenced to the corners. Man. Makes it really hard to keep track of. Yeah, I referenced it to, the origin point of that sketch on that face. Because that one I just pre-drew. I mean, I just drew it on the side, without a plane. I just chose circle and just drew it. So that's where that came from. That's why it doesn't really have quote unquote a plane. But this one, again, I don't think we can move because there's no reference plane to it. So I'm going to have to go create like an offset plane. So anyway, okay, I selected plane, to create an offset from this surface, and hit. If you do parallel, it's like that. You do perpendicular, it's like that. You do coincident, it's just right on it. That's probably what I should have done, is drawn a coincident. Now you can change the angle of the plane, but that's not what I want, and you get an offset. But that's what parallel does, gives you an offset. Which I could use offset, but I mean, I really want it. So you can create more than one plane too while you're at it. But I really want it in the midpoint here, but I don't know if I can select that. Nope, doesn't like that. Anyway, it won't do this, so I'll delete it. Anyway, I'll tell you what the solution is later. I think the solution is going to be, because like I said, if I choose this midplane, that's kind of what I want, but it's it's going the wrong direction, so maybe I need to choose this face and do the same thing. But I'm going to go ahead and keep that plane. No. Some kind of bill boring for some reason. Let's select one or more plane. Okay. Now it's fully defined, but I don't know where it is. Oh, it's right there. That's not what I want, though. Oh, well, hell, I understand what it's doing now. Let me delete this. There we go. That's what I want. So you just got to select two planes with that mid-plane option, and that creates a plane right in the middle. So that's what I was trying to do. So that makes sense too. I was wondering if you had to do that, but this thing's so squirrely. I mean, because you can select all kinds of things, edges, points, etc., to create these planes. I mean, it's just one command, that creates it. It's just this plane command, and it works in so many different ways. It's a very interesting result. Anyway, now I guess I'm going to have to edit this, okay, and try to copy it. I mean, it's the only thing I can think of to do. So I hit Control C. Now let's exit the sketch, and I'll start a sketch on. Yeah, I just use Control V. I just selected the plane and used Control V, so I mean that appears to have done the job. Yeah, so now since it's inside, I probably won't be able to see shit. So, yeah, because I don't think this has any constraints or anything. So, it shouldn't be defined. I'll have to put a coincident. I don't know how I'm going to do this because they're on top of each other. I don't know if I can do that either. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, Okay, I had to move the arc out, make it center point coincident. Now these two are offset from each other, so now I can add a coincidence relation there, and there. Well, it shouldn't be over defined. Well, oh whoops. Yeah, I attached it to the wrong point. It's alright though. There we go. It's not exactly the same profile though. So I'm going to do it all over again, because I want to match it to the original, I'm going to match it to the original location. So make that coincident. Make that coincident. Okay, now it's fully defined. Alright. Okay, so now we can try the dome command again. I'll go ahead and hide this plane. Okay, so we roll it forward. We're got a dome again, and go in and edit this sucker and see if I can add this plane here to it. Okay. Well, it's not really doing anything though. What's the point of having a constraint point the height of the dome is definitely too small? I understand that, but that is the right thing. So I guess I just don't understand how that thing works. So anyway, you would think that you would think that would require some kind of curve, because that's what it said. But obviously it doesn't work. So anyway, at least I tried. Okay, before I go any further on the other thing, I'm doing research on the internet trying to figure that dome thing out. I've also figured out the wrap thing, which is cool. I'm going to show you afterwards, but probably in a different video. Let's see if we can do a dome on this anyway. Given the trouble that's happened, it's probably not going to complete. So I guess it's got to be a pretty simple surface. It could be why I'm having difficulty finding videos on it, because it just doesn't seem like anybody has any much in the way of videos. Fuzzy foreigners are the only ones that are using it. But yeah, I mean, it shouldn't be difficult to create a dome on something like this. It should be a bubbled surface. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem to want to cooperate with that. So it doesn't like it. Since you can't see a preview of it. But anyway, I guess I could edit this one just real quick and kind of show you, at least what I wanted to show you. If you reverse direction, it'll make it indent. So, you can, like give it a slight indent, on a surface. So, anyway, it's got that going for it. But yeah, I mean, apparently it'll only work on simple surfaces, so it's bizarre. But I'll undo that. Oh, well, it sort of works on this one. I don't know why. Maybe it's because of the size or something. Yeah, see, now it fails when you try to make it too big. But at any rate, I know that's not working the way I wanted it to work. So anyway, it's probably not a feature worth messing with, because maybe not that many people use it, because does seem kind of limited. Okay, after reading through the help, and I'll show you the help in a minute. And in fact, I'm just going to demonstrate some of the principles. Okay, so if you go select and edit the dome, and I select my sketch, okay, you can see what it's doing. I had to actually go in to edit the sketch and put these points on it, because after reading through the help, it's all based on points apparently. So how these points are spaced determines the shape of the dome in that profile. So so that's basically what that does. So or to complete it, it's kind of irregularly shaped. I think undid something else, but anyway. But now we're back to the basic unit. Now I'm going to show you something else. Oh, and by the way, let's see. If you want to draw a sketch on a plane, you can just click sketch, and that hold on, click sketch, and that automatically puts you in sketch mode. So I can go normal to the top plane. That's really weird. Okay, guess I got disorientated. Anyway, I'm going to draw a series of objects here and create some other reference a multi-body situation. Take 5 inches. No. Damn it. 3 inches. I don't have to define it for this. I'm going to do a polygon too. Oops. Damn it. It's 5-sided just like before. Horizontal relationship, and I'm done with the sketch. And I'm going to go extrude this shape. I don't want that high. That's at 30 inches. Okay. Alright, so now let's apply the dome to these features, because you got different options according to the, you can make it ellipsoidal, ellipsoidal dome when it's on a circular profile, and that makes the edges basically tangent to each other, I believe. Versus not doing it that way. It's, like I said, it's not necessarily tangent, but it is now. See what I mean? Apparently the dome is mostly used for like putting curves on buttons and things like that. Apparently that's what it's mostly used for. So, but again, you can do the same point sketch. And this direction vector, that's useful if you wanted to create a line that's not normal to the surface or the face of the surface. And apparently domes will work on irregular surfaces too. Apparently they don't have to be, just like planar surfaces. Apparently, they can work on more complex surfaces than this. Just not like this, apparently. But anyway, I'm going to go select that, and then let's do a dome on this face here. Now this, gives you a continuous dome or a non-continuous dome. So, on a polygonal, it won't give you these options on a square surface, or a, quadrilateral, but it will give you these options on. Let me try to indent it by that much. Okay. So I'm creating, the continuous. Okay, apparently that's non-continuous. That's continuous. So let's go to the bottom and select that. So it kind of shows you, just the various aspects of what the dome feature does, and but at any rate, the point is that vector, this is an easy way to edit a feature, by the way. That vector, again, if you wanted to have a line drawn off at an angle, so you can make the dome skew, that's what that's for. So you can have a line, it's off at an angle somewhere, and if you had a sketch in that plane and everything. So anyway, okay, I'm trying to create a sketch so I can show you that direction thing on this. What I did was I went and did the axis. Okay, and to choose an axis, I guess I can show you that real quick. Just choose the cylinder face, and then you got your axis. There are other options, but anyway, now we're going to go draw a reference plane, and I had the axis selected, but it's still underdefined. So what I got to do is I'm going to try to find a plane that's parallel to, and so it'll define it properly. Now we don't want it perpendicular, we want it parallel, but it's fully defined. So there's my reference plane. Now I can create a little sketch on this plane, because that was kind of maddening trying to do this with a cylinder. So yeah, let me go do a sketch on the plane, so that's a quick way of putting a sketch on it, like I said. Now let me go I guess I'll won't let me select that axis. Well, actually, it's because I'm, because like I said, our plane's right in the middle of it, so I understand why. It's kind of a coincident point, though. I mean, you'd think it would work, but this will probably work. Okay. Now, it's not fully defined, but again, hopefully that won't be a problem for this. Complete the sketch. I may rotate this stupid view. Damn this fucking thing. I think there might be some, in the settings, some way of modifying that. It looked like there might be. I didn't experiment with it though. Okay, so that's on our plane basically. Now let me try to create a dome based on that to show you that feature. Okay. Okay, well, I guess it doesn't do anything, so I probably just did it wrong. Who knows? Hold on. Okay, I tried creating a line and putting 2 points on it because it said something about points being the operative factor, but it just won't work. But I did select like a line here on another piece of geometry. It won't let me select this, but you know. But like I said, so you can use like geometry, you know, for it. So, you know, because you can see that did produce a bit of a result. Because let me clear the selection. See, it's a different shape than it would have otherwise been. I can still, you know, control the width of it and so forth. Now I can, you know, like I did before, choose that, and it makes it, you know, load in by default. But anyway, that's enough fucking around with this command. So, anyway.